So Camerabotics has just launched their new update for Lensmaster. And if you don't know what Lensmaster is a real-time animation software for cinema robotics. Now Lensmaster is available standalone and it currently supports KUKA and Universal robots. Now that's the software that we use here at our studio to control our KUKA KR10 robot. And I'm super excited about this latest release because it's got some key features that I'm sure any Lensmaster user will appreciate. Now, if you're already using Lensmaster, then you might have already had this as an automatic update. So just double check that if your software is updated. If not, you can head to the website camerabotics.com, check on the customer portal, and you can download the latest version. As well as the enhancement and the upgrades and the general bug fixes, there are a few key features that I'm really excited about. And I'll list a few of the features that they have upgraded here, and I'll delve into a couple of those in detail. Okay, so we are over in Lensmaster right now, and I want to talk about one of the most exciting part of the update, which is the multiple timeline. So having multiple timeline allows you to edit multiple animations at the same time. And I think overall this feature is going to actually save you a lot of time. So let's get familiar with the new animation timeline. So we can see at the top here, we've got an animation that is already open. And if we try to close this one, for example, it'll give us the option to open a new one. So there always needs to be one animation open on the timeline. And we can add new tabs to this or add new animations to this timeline in a few different ways. The first one is just this little plus button here. If we tap on that, we've got the options to either create a new one, or we can choose from something that we already have opened up. Another way that we can import animations into the timeline is if we go to where our animations live, and we could just double click on an animation and that will bring that straight in to the timeline. We can also drag and drop, which is a pretty cool function. So we can just drag our animations into the timeline like so. If we just hover over that timeline, we can see that we get a ghost preview of the positions for that animation. Now, if you wanted to remove animations from the timeline, it's just a matter of hitting on the X and we're getting rid of those. If you did make any changes or updated that animation, make sure to save it before you close it out. So whenever we add a new animation, for example, we just add a blank animation, it comes up as untitled. If we were to go ahead and add another, it will just have an incremental. So untitled animation 1, and if we add another, is animation 2. So these are currently untitled, and the way that you rename these or you change these is that you would save them. So Control S, and as we save it, we can see that the name has been updated. Currently, that's the only way to rename it. So you might be asking, well, what are the advantages of having a multi-animation timeline? Well, I'll go through a couple of these scenarios with you. For example, if you want to switch easily and quickly between different animations, you can just go ahead and you can just run these animations, load them up and run them straight away. What you can also do is copy keyframes from one move and post them into a new timeline. Let's take this one for example. I've got a 3-point move here, simple move. And I've decided, you know what, I want to start in the middle. I want to start from the middle keyframe. And this is a feature that I have wanted for quite some time. So what I'll do here is copy the second and third keyframes. I'll either create a new animation here and I'll just paste these in there just like so. So now I'm essentially starting from the middle of this timeline. So we go back to the second timeline. This is the move. And then I decided I didn't want to start from the first point, copy and paste that into another timeline, and as easy as that. So we just demonstrated two things there. Copy and pasting keyframes across different animations on the same timeline, and the ability to play a section of the move by just copying the range of the keyframes within that move. And I suppose this could also be useful if you wanted to present multiple shot options for a client, for example, or you wanted to do a bit of A/B testing. Right now, let's have a look at the second key update, which is to do with audio management and multi-track. So we have a new audio manager tab over here, just at the right of the action server. And what we can do is populate this with music tracks. So we can add music to here. We can set in and out points just in here before we add them to the audio manager. So we can add multiple tracks. Let's go add a second one. And this one we want a different in and out point, for example. and we could just add that in there. And this is just really a better way of organizing your music tracks. And there's also now the added functionality for multiple music tracks. So if we add a music track just here, and we can just drag our files from here onto these different tracks, and we could add multiple music tracks just like that. So let's discuss another recent feature that has been implemented, and this is to do with calibration of your lens. And this one really saves times and improves the accuracy of your lens. So if we hit calibrate, for example, on this lens, which has already been calibrated, we would have tried to add as many points in here as we can to get the most accurate calibration. There's a new method of doing this, and so if we look here at the calibration mode, we've now got a drop down so you can select between linear and curve fit. But what I want to really draw your attention to is this new method of calibrating. So if we switch that mode from linear to curve fit, then we're presented with these yellow dashes right here. So all you have to do now is just enter 1 point between every 2 of these yellow marks. And so with just a few points, we can see our calibration accuracy is still at 99.99. I think this is really going to be a game changer when you're strapped for time. You just rock up to the set and you've been given 2 new lenses to calibrate, and you just have to enter a minimum amount of points, and then you're pretty much ready to go. So that's definitely going to be a time saver. Whilst we're here in this menu, there is now additional support for the new Fizzbox Pro, which is Fizz over IP. That's been added as well for the new Fizzbox that's coming out from Camerabotics. Now, the basis of implementation of these new upgrades for the software is based on customer feedback. So it's based on client feedbacks from users of the software who may come across issues and they want to have solutions for those. And these all feed into the development process. I already have a few ideas and thoughts about how I'm going to implement these new features into my workflow, but I'm interested in hearing what you might use them for. So first of all, do you think this was a worthwhile update? And 2, what would you be using these new updates for? Now, if you are considering using Lensmaster or any of Camerabotics products for that matter, you can use my referral code. I'll list it in the description below, and you can get 5% off any of the products that Camerabotics do. So until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.